Utility tray assembly and finish. Finish is the final steps in the carpentry process. The way to think about it is the finish work is what you see when you're all done. Utility tray assembly continued. Your floor walls go against the edges of the floor. They do not rest on top of the floor. It looks like this instead of this. Courtesy reminder, we call the pieces of wood that run the width of a board the meat because they get sandwiched by the bread. So our front and back wall are the meat, the lunch meat, and the end caps are the bread because they cap them like the bread of a sandwich. Brilliant! Let's start fastening the back wall and front wall first. Let's start with the back wall if you want. Now, we know our nails gotta go here. How do we do that? You know. Now, we are gonna make nail guidelines. If you know how to make nail guidelines, you can skip through this. That's the beauty of this learning. I'll show you quickly and I'll speed up the tape.
First, we get our B board. In this case, it's the floor. We put the B board on top of the A board. Score line. You could put a dot where you know you want your nails to go. Probably no more than 3.
Preset those nails. This is the direction of the grain. You could see the patterns of the grain moving from left to right. A crosscut cuts across the grain, while a rip cut cuts along the direction of the grain. It's going in the same direction as the grain. Because this is a rip cut, it's not as porous as this crosscut. You could see the holes in the fibers. This side is not nearly as porous, so it's not as critical to smear it out. You can if you want to make sure that everywhere is coated. That's not a problem. Thumb and forefinger help that it's flush. Just tack them through board B. Don't drive them home all at once. It makes for easier adjusting as you go. Flush. What I'm going to do now, 8 minutes. Get rid of that glue before it sets. Do it now before it just gets everywhere. Now you could drive them home. No shiners?
No shiners.
Repeat the other side. A nail guideline. I make mine darker so you can see it. Preset those nails. Run that bead. No, don't run it on the top wall. Ha! Like I was going to. It's a rip cut, so the wood will not suck it up as much, so the first layer is not as critical. Use your thumb and forefinger to make it flush. You drive them halfway. Whoop, the glue out of there so it's less messy as you're driving them home. Oh yeah. Drive them on home. No shiners? Oh wow. I usually get shiners. It's amazing. Now you put the end caps on. Here's the end cap. The end cap has a rough end cut exposed. Take the time to sand that end cut so it looks more smooth. I meant to say more smooth. You repeat the process. Now you're going to have your end cuts here. So this necessitates spreading out the glue because you're going into the porous fibers. Let that wood soak it up. Run your bead. 2 nails into the floor.
No shiners.
Usually shine out all the time. 1 from the end cap into your front and back wall. Check for shiners after. Ooh, that started to go sideways. I'm going to pull that out. I wasn't holding it steady enough. Woohoo! I hit a nut. Nice. Let's see if I can fix this. Any shiners? I'll be darned. Repeat. Primary spread layer. Secondary bead. Apply the end cap. 2 in the floor. I realized what I should be doing is presetting them like I suggested. Mr. Castillo, get a grip on reality. Now I'm preset. That's better. So much better. Oh, we're going to have a shiner. There it is. Try to catch it before you drive it all the way through, and you could try to get it out. Oh, yeah. Let's try again. Set those nails. Nail set city tonight. This helps just make it a little more rigid so the walls don't bend and move as much. There we go. I'm running out of gigabytes. So at this point, of course, you would sand it to nice and smooth and then seal it.